Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You requested it a lot and I obeyed. The SA87 LMG. There's an explained video coming, recall, damage, everything. The SA87 has many problems though. It's slow, it's sluggish, there's no crazy damage, but nonetheless, we figured out a way to make it work in two ways, and we figured out a way how you can play, if you do like the SA87, your favorite LMG. I know comparing the SA87 to the Kilo is not really fair because one is a highly mobile AR and the other one is a sluggish LMG, but this is pretty much what you're fighting against. So let's compare the SA87 to the more meta rifle, the Kilo 141. So first and foremost, you have a fairly low fire rate of 600 RPM, which is still okay, but you can see that the Kilo is just higher up. But your damages are on all values obviously way higher, and the most important part is you only have one damage drop off, and that happens after 48 meters. Whereas you can see the Kilo has, like, you know, here does 18 damage per shot, and we do still after 48 meters 34 damage or 29 damage per shot. So twice almost as what we do with the Kilo. That's pretty cool. Also, we have a super high bullet velocity. Super high bullet velocity usually speaks for, hey, this is really good as a long range rifle. Then again, you'll find out later that the barrels are not so optimal. Your overall ADS time is really what's the big problem with the gun and what we have to fight against, because the Kilo starts at a 238. If you fully equip a Kilo with a VLK build, it ends up roughly 400 milliseconds ADS time, whereas this already starts with 400 milliseconds. You'll be surprised though how good this gun can be. If we look at this time to kill wise, technically the SA87 has a better time to kill than the Kilo because of the bullet damage it does. So we're at a 600 time to kill with one fall off roughly at 50 meters, and then we're still at a 700 time to kill. That is actually fantastic from a mere time to kill comparison. The Kilo is way worse off. The advantage of the Kilo though is that you just hit every single bullet. So the time to kill is nice and such and yada yada, but realistically you're not going to hit every single bullet, so you're not having a 600 time to kill because you're just not going to hit everything, whereas the Kilo is going to hit everything easily. Let's look at the recoil. The base SA87 60 round mag. Let's see what the recoil has to offer on this gun. A lot of visual recoil, as you can see. The gun is already bouncing. The funny part though is, as we can see here right now, there is absolutely no horizontal deviation of this recoil. That's interesting. So you're shooting in a straight line. That's actually fairly nutty. I mean, the recoil you have seen there is merely visual. Like, you see that the gun is bouncing like crazy and it pulled start to the right. But all in all, just from a base recoil control, yeah, it's pulled start to the top right. That's, you can see here as I was trying to hold it down. But all in all, that's what you're gonna take care of. You don't have to pull to the left. You just have to pull like really down. It's super cool. Let's see how we build against this. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we saw the very strong vertical recoil. What are we going to do about it? Compensator. No question. 60 round mag. No question. Obviously, this is a gun. You have seen the long range capabilities to mid range capabilities. VLK optic, even more recoil control. Then underbarrel, in this case, probably the Ranger foregrip the best for aiming stability and recoil control in the beginning for the testing full. And now comes the sad part. The barrels are actually not good. We'll slap it on though for the first test to see how it feels. Problem with the barrels is that the SA factory barrel, so the biggest one, gives you 20 range, 26 bullet velocity. That's not a lot. That's crazy. And only 5% recoil control for plus 37 milliseconds ADS time. That's not worth it. That's not worth it. And the other barrels are trash. Complete, utter trash. So we're going to put on the factory barrel for the first testing, and then we're going to play around with it to get the guns build better. Now we're going to be having a heavy recoil control, but there already is one problem that we talked about, the ADS time. You can't fight with this gun. You walk around a corner, you see a person, you do this. It's like an hour to turn around and shoot you. So we're going to have a supreme recoil control. First bullet, pulling over, first bullet. And have supreme recoil control in comparison to what we had before. But one interesting thing we do see now, due to squashing the recoil together, we pull this together and suddenly everything starts wibbly wobbling, if that makes sense to you. due to pulling the standard recoil down, we're getting like a really weird ass something. So squashing the recoil on this gun completely, going for ultimate recoil control might not be the vibe here, especially since we do still have the visual recoil. The scope bounces a lot. What I'm thinking about here right now is replacing the Ranger foregrip through Commando, saving us a lot of ADS frames. A lot of ADS frames. The barrel must go off because the barrel makes no sense. The barrel just makes the gun 5% recoil control and super slow. So the barrel got to go off and we need an ADS attachment, which is then going to be the tac laser. With our first full recoil control build, we end up at a 511 ADS time. That's not happening. 413 is base, the Kilo has 238 base and 400 fully equipped, so we at least have to reach 400 in ADS time to be able to compete in a straight up ego challenge, or we're just going to be outgunned already on the ADS factor, and that ain't going to happen. What can we do about it? As we said, the barrel's awful. Does 5% recoil control, 20% bullet velocity? It's not needed. Like, we're good off. We have a high bullet velocity of 840 already, which is higher than the normal ARs. So we're already there. We're already good. We can already start beaming and having fun. What I would suggest is putting a laser on, because the laser on the SA87 minus 67 ms. So we're losing 37 milliseconds for putting the barrel off, and we're getting even minus 67 from the tac laser. If we take the Ranger foregrip off, that's another 20 millisecond we're saving for the Commando foregrip, and the Commando foregrip might help with the recoil stabilization to make the gun feel better, because right now it feels a little bit unruly, bouncy, wobbly, like it's on the high seas and shooting. Technically, there's also, if you really want to go for it, you could put the Commando foregrip off to put the stock on, because the stock does another minus 50 milliseconds. But we'll test that now live to see if it's actually an option to put the stock off and keep the Commando on. Live comparison. Check it out. Now this already feels faster. Not super fast, but faster. What do we have here to offer? Obviously, there should be way more recoil now, but all in all, it should be handleable, if that makes sense. See, like, this is the curve. We had this weird ass wobble, bobble, bibble, bobble, bingo, bingo, bongo going on, and we pretty much, due to the Commando foregrip, we lost some of the vert recoil, so the curve isn't staunched anymore that much, but all in all, the gun just feels super stable now again. So if you would be spraying it, you're just on point. Now comes the question though, what if we slap the Commando off? Also the Commando, just keep our vertical squashing here off the Compensator and see if we can make this even faster aiming down sight, or if the Compensator should go off and the Commando is enough. This is most likely the fastest you can build it now ADS wise. I mean, you're good off. The problem is with the SA87, it says like a weird ADS animation that makes it just feel super slow, but we're actually down to 50 milliseconds ADS time, which is even faster than a Kilo. Crazy, right? Just doesn't feel like it due to the gun. But what do we have recoil-wise now without the Commando foregrip? Yeah, and without the Commando foregrip, the gun gets weird again. That's like, this is just really like, so the difference in the vert recoil is not that much. We have like a really nice squashing here in the middle, but all in all, I feel like this curve, just from a feel and from a shooting, because the gun, like while I was shooting it, it felt like really restless. I don't know how to say it better. Like it's bouncing, it's wobbling, it's going crazy. So the curves are more or less the same, but the shooting feel with this one was so much better. Here comes the question though now. This is with Compensator and with Commando. This is without Commando but Compensator. But what if we swap it around now? So that would be our third option. If we swap off the Compensator and put the Commando on, does the gun feel better? And might that be the build? Or is this already the max we can get out of it? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the ADS speed is good, even a tiny bit better. Can we trust this? I miss the Compensator. I missed the combo. It's just like the weird whirly bounce here, and then it shoots like woo. That's what it shoots like. This was a way better curve. So this is not an option. No. So that is definitely speaking for Compensator, and on top of the Compensator, we play the Commando foregrip. So this was an option for quick ADS speed, but I'd rather go for the slower ADS speed and then actually be able to hit a single shot on an opponent. Okay, after all this testing, I think that's the SA87 for VLK optic long range. There's no question about it. I have tried out the stock version and it was good, but it was always missing something. I think the Commando foregrip is here the vibe. This is the SA87 for the VLK optic. Do not fret though. You don't want to play a VLK optic gun? Don't worry. I got another version for you, and that would be the Close Quarter Combat. Close Quarter Combat? SA87 that you then actually do play with the Corp Combat holo side, and you're going to slap on the blue dot. And this is what I do actually play together with an HDR, and it's an absolute mental beamer. In this case though, I do not do that long range shots, and I do genuinely fight inside of buildings, and I decided that in this case the close quarter combat stock might be better. So this is now down to your personal preference. If you feel like you're getting out ADS'd, you don't have a chance to ADS in fast enough, boom chakalaka, close quarter combat stock. But here also, if you think you can handle the iron side, you can build the best gun possible, and that would be Commando foregrip. The problem is I don't like the iron side of the SA87, and I don't think there's a single blueprint who changes it. So if you're going on the gun and you go for the blueprints, you can always look at them and see if any blueprint does actually do change the iron side. For example, we can go for this. We put off the optic. Preview weapon, same iron sight. It's this tiny circle with the Archangel barrel style, and the problem is there's a lot of wobble in the gun that even the Commando can't really take care of, so you might miss shots due to iron sights. If there was like an XRK blueprint which would make the iron sight a little bit bigger, then we would be talking. And let's look at this here quickly at the blue node. Does the blue node do anything for us? The iron sight does not get better. I need an SA87 blueprint that gets the iron sight better. Maybe you know of one, then please do tell me, because I would really love to know. But as we said, when we're going down now on the SA87, this would be our close quarter combat. Like let's say the best close quarter combat build possible. If you can handle the iron sight, if you can't, holographic, 1.5 time magnification blue dot, and you're slapping things left and right. Let me show that in a gun test. Woohoo! Ladies and gentlemen, we're fast. But how does the gun shoot? And as you can see, there's it's not chill, if you get my drift. So the gun is really not chill in the scope. The scope wobbles. If you're trying to shoot someone that would be running here, it could be hard to actually keep your tracking on. But if you get used to it, this is really nicely clustered. I mean, it's a good shot. The gun recoils in the side, but the actual recoil is not really there. It's really good on close quarter. Like someone is running here, you'll just hit every single shot. Someone is here, you'll just hit every single shot. He's here, you should crouch to be a little bit more precise. Now let's see, how does this gun feel? Commando foregrip off, blue dot on. Imagine this to be the blue dot, because I would have to leave the whole match and restart the whole match to actually change the reticle to a blue dot, because you can't do it in the game. Thank you, YouTube comments that I have seen before on other videos. Okay, that's the blue dot version now. Still good ADS time, but significantly slower. You feel it. And the Commando foregrip is missing. So how would the gun feel now with the Commando foregrip missing? And you see already the big difference, how much the Commando foregrip actually helps us here. The Commando foregrip does so much for the gun that it feels so different without the Commando, but with the blue dot. What we could do now is, again, we could play the same version of the VLK does. We could sacrifice the close quarter combat stock to add even more ADS frames to then at least have the Commando foregrip on to really get rid of the weirdness of the gun. I do think that this one might be the best to pair with the sniper, the no sight one. But how does it feel now with the close quarter combat stock off and the Commando on, plus the blue dot? Really slow ADS time, so you're going to be aware of that inside of build. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. And we're back to a more natural gun feel. It just makes such a difference when you have the Commando foregrip on. Like, this is so weird. This is so weird. Obviously, a lot of this recoil is also down to the bonus magnification we have here now, because 1.5 times bonus magnification just makes the gun go a little bit more wonky. But all in all, this is like, you know, this is it with the blue dot. Or without the blue dot, you've seen the straight beamer just feeling very good. But again, you might just miss shots due to using the iron sight, which is fairly limited. After all this testing, let me show you two complete loadouts for the SA87. So let's say Commando foregrip off, we put the close quarter combat stock off. This is it. This is the close quarter combat beamer. This gun is super strong. It can shred people like the Scar did in the Scar video, surprisingly. It has like AK-ish fields to it. The kind of slow fire rate makes it really nice to aim at opponents, and the visual recoil is more there than actual recoil. So this gun might be better to shoot on a controller, because controller usually handles visual recoil better because you can shoot hit markers. We do play this SA87 together with the HDR because, again, you're playing a gun that's technically not made to be played inside of buildings, but can be played inside of buildings. So you're going to play this gun with the longest sniper rifle possible that you're holding back, supporting your team from the distance, but can also go inside to go crazy. I'm usually playing the variable zoom scope then too, because you're the hero out of the distance, and we obviously put on the scout stock for maximum ADS speed. So that's the HDR I have together with this. Currently, I love to play a certain blueprint. So when you're looking at the HDR, I call it the cheek clapper. That's my favorite one. This is actually the oceanographer blueprint. I don't know, favorite design pretty much. And then on top of that, double time, overkill M, you just need to move faster with a slow gun. And I do play currently throwing knives. Why throwing knives? Because if you down someone, instead of then using your gun and wasting bullets to kill him, since everyone has self-res, a throwing knife is an instant kill. So you go inside a building, down someone, you know there's the other one right around the corner, throwing knife, dead, turn. Because throwing knife is a one-hit kill, and you can walk over it and pick it straight up again. Hashtag throwing knife meta. The VLK SA87 we do pair with my new favorite gun. We've talked about a lot of hipfire builds, MP5, MP7. But, ladies and gentlemen, have you tried out the hipfire Uzi? We use for the Uzi the AE rounds for bonus damage. The range is neglectable here, obviously. On top of that, Merc foregrip, maximum hipfire, 5 million laser, maximum hipfire, no stock for the movement speed, and even more hipfire, hidden stat. Last but not least, the muzzle brake. As we did in the testing video, MP5 versus MP7, the muzzle brake is fantastic. So we have an MP5 hipfire version, MP7 hipfire version, and now we have the Uzi hipfire version, where there's a gameplay video to follow to show you what kind of a beautiful sheet clapper that is. On top here, we play double time still to move ultra fast with that Uzi, like no one can stomp us. We have a stun grenade and again the throwing knife meta to finish off everyone that we down, so we don't have to waste any of the 32 AE ammunition, because this is obviously the problem. You go in, hip fire, 10 bullets, someone is dead, 15 bullets, someone is dead. So you have enough bullets to actually kill another one without reloading. But you would have to waste these bullets now to kill the one on the ground. Boom, throwing knife, turn around, bzzzt. Use your hip fire to kill the other one. Pick the throwing knife up in the process and use it again. 2 guys dead, reload, 3rd guy, can't just wait to send him back to the lobby. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's draw our summary and verdict. The SA87 is a fairly sluggish, slow-moving rifle, but it has a very interesting recoil pattern that is just a straight line and technically not even hard to control. The biggest problem, as you've seen, there is the ADS time, but we kind of worked against that by not using a barrel, which is the main trick about this gun. And no, you can't get rid of the 60 round mag, sadly, as we did on the AK or on the Scar. The Scar doesn't have a 60 round mag, but the problem is the reload speed is so abysmal that even sleight of hand does not make it faster. Don't even think about not using the 60 round mag. It's just too good. This gun definitely works and it's fun to play, and it's definitely an opportunity to just play a new gun in the Warzone, especially if you're an SA87 lover. I hope you're going to enjoy this. Maybe you have your SA87 build that you want to drop in the links below, in the comments below, so we can see what you have been cooking up with. Thanks for watching this. Thanks for watching my Explain series and supporting the channel so much. We've been growing immense this month. I mean, we have made 6,000 subscribers, 7,000 subscribers in the course of like 1.5 weeks. And I haven't made that many subscribers in the past 4 months. So ladies and gentlemen, you're all crazy. I wish you a wonderful good time and see you soon in the Warzone.